Okay, so you know that one friend who has an opinion on literally everything? And they're always wrong, but somehow never uncertain? Yeah, there's a name for that. And it's gonna make so much sense. So back in 1999, and honestly, thank God someone finally studied this, two psychologists, Dunning and Kruger, decided to test something. They gave people these tests: logic, grammar, basic reasoning stuff, nothing crazy. And then after they asked everyone, how do you think you did? And what they found was, it's almost funny if it wasn't so depressing. The people who absolutely bombed, like, scored in the bottom percentile. They were the most confident. Genuinely thought they nailed it. Some of them thought they were above average. Some thought they were brilliant. Meanwhile, the people who actually crushed the test, they were sitting there like, I don't know. Probably did okay. Maybe average. Full of doubt. Second-guessing every answer. Which, like, what? How does that even make sense? But here's the thing. And once you get this, you can't unsee it. When you know very little about something, I'm talking surface level, intra-course level of knowledge, you also don't know enough to realize what you're missing. If you've never studied a topic deeply, you don't even know what questions to ask. You don't know the debates, the contradictions, the exceptions. To you, it just seems simple, obvious even. You've got the basics down. You can explain it in a sentence or two. Done. Easy. So when someone asks your opinion, you give it. Confidently. Why wouldn't you? From where you're standing, there's nothing complicated here. But when you actually do understand something deeply, when you've wrestled with it for years, that's when you see how messy it really is. How much nuance there is. How many things you still don't know. How often the answer is, it depends, or we're still figuring that out. And that's why the loudest person in the room is almost always the least informed. Because they genuinely don't know what they don't know. Their confidence isn't fake, it's real. It just comes from ignorance that feels like expertise. Meanwhile, your friend who reads constantly, they're over there going, well, it's complicated, and I'm not sure I know enough to say. It's not because they're wishy-washy. Not because they lack opinions. But because they know enough to see the complexity. I catch myself doing this all the time. There'll be some topic I know just enough about to be dangerous. And I'll start talking confidently. And then later I'll read more and realize, oh, I was so wrong. I didn't even know the right questions to ask. Because here's what's wild: your brain literally cannot recognize gaps in knowledge it doesn't have yet. By definition, you can't know what you don't know. So if you're missing 90% of the picture, you don't feel like you're missing anything. You feel informed, complete, like you've got the whole story. Ignorance doesn't feel like ignorance from the inside. It feels like clarity. Like you've seen the obvious truth everyone else is overcomplicating, and that's terrifying, right? Because the times in your life when you felt most certain, those might have been the times you knew the least. Like right now. There are probably topics you're confidently wrong about. And you don't know which ones. So here's the brutal truth. Your brain is terrible at assessing its own competence. You can't evaluate the quality of your own knowledge. It's like trying to proofread your own writing. You can't see your own typos because your brain autocorrects them. Same thing with knowledge. You can't spot your own blind spots. By definition. So when someone's really, really confident about something complex, that's often a red flag. Because people who know their stuff have encountered enough complexity to be humble. The smartest people I know almost never speak in absolutes. They say things like, based on current research, or in my experience. Meanwhile, the person who discovered this topic last Tuesday, they're out here solving decades-old problems with one simple trick. And the answer is, they did. They thought about it a lot. And realized it's way harder than it looks. Because there's this beautiful, painful moment that happens when you're learning. At first, you feel confident. It's simple. Then you learn a bit more, and suddenly, wait, it's complicated actually. There are exceptions. You start to doubt yourself. Then you keep learning, and eventually you get to a place where you understand it deeply enough to have measured confidence. Anyway, that's Dunning-Kruger. That's why ignorance feels like expertise. And the wisest thing you can say is, I don't know enough about that yet. Comment peak of Mount Stupid. Follow for more psychology on why your brain lies to you and why, I don't know, is often smarter than any answer.